What's going on, guys? This is Nate from the show Academy, welcoming you to our next deck profile here on the channel. Today we've got Sean here with his ABC Therion deck. I'm gonna let him jump right on into it.
Yeah, so we played ABC Therion. It didn't go the best today. The deck can be a little bit bricky if you don't open the right hands. But if you open all your engine pieces, it's pretty hard to break the whole board outside of Dark Ruler. But I don't know, I have a lot of fun playing this deck right now. It's definitely not top tier meta, but definitely tier 2, and it's just a lot of fun. So we'll just get into the profile here. We play 2 A Assault Core, 2 Bs, and 2 Cs. This ratio is pretty good. I see some decks that play 3 Bs. It's just the best one. It searches out all the other pieces and refuels your hand. But this ratio is fine. I don't think you need to play a third one, honestly. You have the 1 brick in the entire deck, which is the Union Driver. You don't ever want to draw this card. It's not the worst if you draw it, since we're playing Adventure and you can pitch it to the grave. But yeah, you'd rather just not see this card in your hand at all. That's it for the ABC monsters.
Now, what are you gonna do if you do open that? Is there a play that you can do?
So the play is, if you open Driver, hopefully you have the adventure stuff in your hand already, so that when you go to search your monster, you can pitch this to the grave and then have your Therion play to bring this back and equip it, and then just banish it after that. Otherwise, it's not great. I think the decks that aren't playing Adventure are just doing it wrong because of that simple reason right there, that you just don't ever want to see this in your hand. I guess you could play 2 of this card and your chances go down drastically, but then you're just adding another brick, and we need the deck to be as consistent as possible. Like I said, we're playing Therion too, so we got 2 King Regulus. This is pretty good. The Therion stuff can be a little bricky because this card doesn't do anything all on its own. You need a machine monster in the grave in order to special summon him. But the upside to playing this is getting an Omni Negate on board, and also it extends, right? So when you bring your piece back, they're all soft once per turn to special summon themselves from the zones. So it's basically getting a Omni Negate on board as a 2800 body, and then you're also going to get another piece to extend. We'll keep going with monsters here. So like I said, we play the Adventure, so we have 3 Water Enchantress. I see people going down to 2 and 2, but you really want this. This engine is so powerful that you want to max out on seeing it. So I think 3 Enchantress is just better. It also just continuously re-gets your rights back from your graveyard if you need them. So on top of being a free monster special summon if you have the token. So I'd say 3 is better. If you're going to cut down, you cut down on right. And then with the 1 Wandering Griffin Rider to go with it, this is pretty self-explanatory. It's Omni Negate on board. It actually destroys, unlike Therion, but this just goes with your whole package. The only hand traps we play to round out the monsters is we're playing Gamma. The idea behind this is that there's so many cards in my deck that are Ash Bait, outside of field spells, outside of Enchantress herself, to other cards that you'll see later on. But if you can get them to Ash one of your cards and then you Gamma them, it's just pretty powerful. Let alone going second, having this is probably one of the best hand traps in the format right now. So we played it. We'll get to the spells. So with our adventure stuff, we're playing 2 right. I was playing 3, but I cut it down to 2 to make room for another card. You don't really need 3. I could almost see where you could cut this to 1, but then you're just cutting down on the consistency of seeing it. I think 2 is fine. You can continuously get them back from the graveyard with Enchantress. So 2 is okay. It's not too bad. And then you have the 1 Faithful and the 1 Draco back to finish out the adventure package. These are just mandatory. You need them. Faithful has your whole engine going. Some people have played 2 of this. I think that's bad. If you lose it, you lose it, I guess. Draco back is just an insanely powerful card. It's a free pitch for your Buster effects, any of your Unicorn effects. It's going to come back. This card's really good, especially going second. For our field spells, we're playing 3 Hanger. This is the best card in the deck. You want to see this every single hand because this is a 1-card buster. It's Ash Bait. You just need to see this card. Round out field spells. We're playing 2 of the Disc Coliseum. This just searches your Therion King Regulus. I was playing 3, but it is a little bit bricky, like I said, so we cut down to 2 field spell and 2 King Regulus. I've been liking that ratio a lot more. This engine is nice to draw into and see, but it's not necessary. It's nice to get it on board, have the other negate and body, and then being able to extend further in plays if you need it. But ideally, most of the time, you're just trying to open Hanger and your adventure package. People forget about this card and sleep on it a lot, about its battle effects. So once per turn, if a monster that I have would be destroyed by battle, I can just prevent that from being destroyed by sending any Therion card from my deck to graveyard. You can even send another copy of the field spell if you want, but you kind of want to get both your monsters in the grave and you start looping them, because if a monster is destroyed by battle, and it does count your opponent's monsters too. So even if you destroy your opponent's monster by battle, you get an add back a Therion monster from your grave. That's pretty good. So you can just keep looping them back and forth if you need to. And like I said, people forget about it and they just sleep on it. So most of the time on your turns, if you open both field spells, you want to go Hanger first, get your pieces and your combo going to get you to Buster, and then you're going to end your board with this to help you do protection and stuff. And it's just really slept on. It's a very good field spell. Continuous spells. The only other second card that we're playing is Droplet. It's good. You could play Dark Ruler, which I side, but this helps out a lot of boards. It's nice to set it and be able to just send like your equip spell. It's free at that point. It just goes and comes back. Helps you break boards. I'm a big fan of droplets. Get your pieces in grave. It does a lot for the deck.
Allows you to not worry about what your opponent's doing too.
Correct. Just do your plays, let them respond, and then yeah, kill them. And unlike Dark Ruler, you can actually kill your opponent. So 3 Pot of Prosperities. Outside of Hanger, this is probably the next best card in the deck. You need this because we're playing 3 different engines, so seeing this card is really great. It helps you get into any of your engines, so if you open 1 or 2, this is most likely going to get you to the 3rd engine, especially after you've deck thinned a whole bunch with adventure stuff or getting your pieces out of grave, and this is just going to be like another cherry on the top. It also comes in clutch after like post sightings into game 2 and 3, because this is going to help you find your powerhouse board breaker cards, because that's just what we're playing. We're not really playing a lot of hand traps. We're just trying to play cards that can break our opponent's board and then just try to end the duel as fast as possible, because we don't want to get into a super grind fest. But yes, this is probably the best other card outside of Hanger. Then we just got round off for the power spells off of that. So 1-ofs. Set rotation. Getting your field spells is really good. This is a main deck out to Mystic Mine. If you have this and adventure package, it is full combo, because you just set your Union Hanger to your side of the field. You put a Therion Disc Coliseum on their side. You do your full adventure combo, and then you just Draco back the field spell back to your hand, and you just play the next field spell afterwards. So adventure and set rotation is just full combo and full board on top of the other 3 cards that are in your hand. You play Terraforming because we play field spells. I wish this card would come back to more than 1, even though I don't ever think it will, but
being able to search both of your field spells would be pretty busted.
Yeah, it searches any of the field spells. It's just basically another copy of all those field spells. We play 1 Foolish Burial. This is pretty good of getting your pieces into grave. Like I said, if you have the Therion monster, if you don't need your adventure package, you can send like Union Driver and then just get that going sooner. And then you're just free to equip other pieces off your hanger. Even though you still probably are trying to go with Driver, but this just gets you extra pieces into your grave if you need them, or it gets you your adventure package. Call by, because it's called by, it should be banned, but it's not, so we're playing it. And then the last card is 1 copy of Mystic Mine in the main deck.
Oh.
This card should also be banned, but it's not, so we're playing it. This deck struggles to go second most of the time against established boards. If you don't draw like droplets or something like that, you're gonna struggle pretty hard. So a lot of the times if they let you go through terraforming, they're thinking you're just playing some other kind of combo deck or something. If they let you search it, you just get Mystic Mine. If you have your other 2 field spells or one of your other field spells, you just set rotation. You can give your opponent the Mystic Mine with your adventure stuff and just bounce it back to your hand and have this for a follow-up play in case they do break your board. It's just a good one-up to have in the deck. It helps you going second. It won me a game today, 100%. Just drawing it, hard drawing it. That's the main deck. It's 40 cards. There's not a whole lot that I would change currently right now. There was a Hulk build that you could play before, but that's long gone and
Rip to the Hulk.
Yep. We'll move on to the extra deck. So we play a lot of Link monsters. I did make a small change today, and I'll let you know what that is later on. But first off, we play Barricade Board Blocker. This is just a very good generic Link 2. It also comes up on his effect sometimes that they out your Faithful Adventurer or one of your field spells. You can go into this guy, discard him, discard a card, and then in the end phase, you can add back 1 continuous field spell or 1 field spell. So if you're looking to get back one of your field spells, or if you're looking to get back Faithful after they've gotten rid of it, Barricade Board Blocker can get it done on top of being just a generic Link 2 that you can use to like Link climb into. He's pretty good. It's a flexible spot this is, but I think playing the adventure stuff and having the option to be able to get back my Faithful after they destroy it or something is really good. And I've actually done it a few times. After that, we got Platinum Gadget. This is one of the key combo pieces in the deck. You absolutely need this card. If you don't have another piece in hand on top of Hanger and all you have is Hanger to search 1 piece, you're always going to need to go into Platinum Gadget most of the time. You might have an extender like Therion or something like that, but most of the time you're going to want to go into this. It sucks that you can't use him for Link material the turn he's Link summoned, but like we're playing IP, so on your next turn it's not going to matter. He has a nice float effect of like summoning a gadget if he's ever sent to the graveyard or destroyed, but we're not playing gadgets because we're playing adventure stuff and we need our normal summon to not have effects. Like I said, we're playing IP Masquerena. We're always trying to end our end board on this. Tagging out Buster and this, so going Chainlink 1, Masquerena, then Chainlink 2 your Buster to tag out into 3 pieces gives you a lot of options on what you want to do. It's a very reactive deck. You're trying to see what your opponent's playing and how you want to stop them. IP just gives you the opportunity to play on your opponent's board, and then making Link monsters that can't be destroyed by card effects is pretty good. We just added this in today. In place of this, I was playing the Psyframe Omega, and before I was siding Ultimate Slayers. That way I had at least a Synchro in my extra deck to send for Ultimate Slayer targets. We are playing Gamma 2. This never came up today, so I probably will go back to just playing the Psyframe. It's nice if they do ash me, I can Gamma, get the 2 pieces and then make an Omega and then rip another card out of their hand. So I'm leaning more towards going back towards that, but line is great. We're playing light monsters. Like, it just helps you extend and get into Access Code Talker. So couple more links. We're playing Phoenix. Generic spell trap removal. It's pretty good. We're playing IP, so you have lots of options, like I said. Then, of course, we're playing Unicorn. You don't play IP without Unicorn. Get rid of problem stuff that can't be destroyed, or as long as it can be targeted. Unicorn will always be really good. For our big Link monsters, 1 Appaloosa. Going in this on your opponent's turn, making a 4 negate Appaloosa is really good. Like I said, it's a very reactive deck, so you're trying to determine what your opponent's playing and what the best line is to use for your IP. You're going to have all the Link materials that you're going to ever need, but it's just determining on what you need and getting there before the damage is too done. But Appaloosa is very nice. We go into it all the time. Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. This card's clutch. It gets rid of big problematic cards on your opponent's board. You can IP into it. A lot of people don't realize that this hits the field, it negates all their monsters. It also can negate a special summon from the graveyard as a quick effect. And people always forget that this card is unaffected by card effects unless they target her. I think sometimes they think it's the other way around, that she can't be targeted or something, but like, she can be targeted and that's the only way to get rid of her. But there are a lot of niche plays where you can just like, under Nibiru, you can just IP link away into this, and then you're always going to have your Underworld Goddess on the end. Dark Ruler also does not affect this card. So if you're able to have a chainable card to Dark Ruler and then chain your IP after that, you just most likely want to go into Underworld Goddess, because then you're still going to be able to at least have something on your board, because we lose the Dark Ruler.
I feel like most decks do.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Another big link monster is we're playing Crusadia Aeramax. This is kind of in the same boat with just another good IP target play. It's extremely hard to out this card if you make it with IP, because it can't be targeted, and then she makes it not being able to be destroyed by card effects. It's a big body. It protects the rest of your monsters, so it's harder for them to get rid of your tokens. Along with the Therion field spell, plus its own protection. You're trying to save your adventure stuff and continue that grind going and going. Aeramax is really good. It's harder for them to super poly this target away. It's a light monster. It's a Cyberus. It's really good. And then the last big daddy himself is Access Code Talker. This is how we push for game. This is how we kill people. Access Code Talker doesn't really need much of an explanation. And that's it for the link monsters.
All right.
We play 2 Xyz. So we play 1 Baguska. This card's very powerful. Like I said, once the deck gets a lot better going into games 2 and 3, once I realize what my opponent is playing. So there's a lot of decks, Flu, rogue decks, heroes, anything that has to do anything with their monsters. You drop a Baguska on them, if they don't have a way to turn this off, they're most likely just gonna lose. The other Xyz we play is Abyss Dweller. Same thing, once you know what your opponent's playing. These are most likely usually Pot of Prosperity targets to get rid of and banish on game 1. You might keep one or the other in a game 2 or 3 scenario, but this is very good against tier right now. Any graveyard shenanigan decks, you're gonna want Dweller, so we play these 2 Xyz. And then to round out the extra deck is the man himself. 3 ABC Dragon Buster. This card has been around for so long and it's still so powerful. Pitch a card as a quick effect to banish any card on the field. It does target, but banishing is really, really good right now. And then on your opponent's turn only as a quick effect, you can tribute him, which dodges a lot of things. And then you special back the 3 pieces that you used to make him. I think playing 3 is the correct ratio. I've seen decks that play 2. I like having the third one. The third copy usually ends up being a Pot of Prosperities, like banish if you need to, and then you just play with 2. But you don't ever want to have to want to get rid of the 1, and then you're kind of stuck not being able to tag out and then go on your opponent's turn. Playing 3 is nice if you don't have to use your Pot of Prosperities. You can go turns where you get all your pieces out, and then you can make double Buster on a turn to help you push for game. Anything like that. 3K body, he's really good. It's really hard for people to get around this card. They try all kinds of effects to try and imperm him, or you go to banish, they want to imperm or droplets or anything like that, and then you just tag out, and then their cards do nothing because he's in the graveyard. The only card that really kills this card is called By the Grave, which is at 1 and should be banned.
All right, you want to jump into your side deck?
Yeah, we'll do the last side deck. It's a little spicy, a little bit different. Yeah, so I'm side decking the 1 copy of Illegal Knight. The idea behind this is that this card is super good going second, outside of only having the option to get your Griffin Rider and having an Omni negate. It also doubles as a way to stop a lot of spell and trap decks that just want to set a bunch of cards. Because you just end your board on this, say game 3, you know you're going to go first, and you know you're playing a deck that's going to set just a bunch of back row and try to pass back to you and then do something. So you just have this, you go on their end phase, you can bounce 2 cards back to their hand and then give them control of this monster. And then when it comes back to your turn again, it's really nice play to have your Draco back. You bounce this back, special summon it again, and then use it again to bounce 2 more back row. So this 1 card can clear like 4 back row, and they either have to respond to it with whatever they're doing, or they're just gonna lose 4 cards. So that's why we just side deck it. I main decked them for a little bit. It's nice if you open one or the other, you still have an option to go get something other than just Water Enchantress, but this guy's pretty spicy. The only other hand trap that we're actually siding is Droll and Lockbird. It's a good hand trap for this format. I think Ash, although it's good, is maybe not powerful enough sometimes, where at least Droll can just shut down a whole turn.
A lot of people can play through 1 Ash.
Correct, and so like you might have to give them the 1 search, but if their deck relies on it, this card also kills my deck. But it's really good, this format. I think you should side it. Like I said, we're playing Mystic Mine. The other 2 copies are in the side deck. Going in, like I said, going against established boards, it's hard for this deck going second. This just helps. I'm never in the game to try and deck people out. My whole strategy behind playing Mystic Mine is that I have a lot of ways to get rid of my own Mystic Mine via field spells themselves, or drawing into like a droplets at a later time and then just sending it and actually getting value off of it to just negate the cards that I feel like I need to negate and then just push for game. Yeah, I'm never trying to play this card to just mill anybody out. It might come up, especially how much tier players just go through their entire deck. But it's still legal, so we're playing it.
Use it till you lose it.
That's right. We don't really want to play against back row decks, so we have some back row hate. We're playing Harpy's Feather Duster. It's at 1. You should side it. The other ones is we're playing 3 Cosmic Cyclone. You could go other options. I think Lightning Storm is not good this format. You need cards that can chain to cards such as like Anti-Spell Fragrance is still floating around. Field spells, you want to, it's not bad. A lot of the times if I know I'm gonna go against anything that does field spells or back row or anything like that, I just like take out droplets and put these in. And even going second or first, it's fine. If I draw this, I can just set it and still play it on my opponent's turn. I have thought about Twin Twisters. I don't know how much I want to get rid of cards out of my hand. As much as I want pieces in the graveyard, I kind of need to keep my resources going. So this is why we chose Cyclone.
Yeah, I feel like you have more value when they're in your hand instead of in the grave.
Yeah, you want them in the grave, but it's a fine balance. It's a fine balance. We're side decking 3 Dark Ruler no more. Like I said, we struggle going second. We need to be able to just do something against established boards. Get rid of what they're doing and hopefully set up a board that can stop their next turn play and then win on the next turn after that. Dark Ruler helps you get that done. Everybody should be side decking this card as much as I don't like it. And then to round off the extra deck, I'm just playing 2 evenly matched. It was 3, but I wanted to play the Illegal Knight, so we just cut it down to 2. It's not the worst. It's nice seeing this with either Dark Ruler or droplets, and then you can just clear a whole board. It helps you get rid of back row. You could play a 3rd copy of it, but like I said, we're playing Prosperity, so if you see that going into your post-sided games, it just helps you to get into any of the board breakers that you're gonna need. Ripping 6 every single time, I don't think I've ever pot for 3. So yeah, it just helps you dig through your entire deck, and this card is still just really good. Yeah, gets rid of big problems.
Alrighty, well thank you Sean for bringing us your ABC Therion deck. If you guys did enjoy today's deck profile, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell out the door because all your support is greatly appreciated. Make sure to stay tuned later on this week. We are going to have some live duels so you can see this deck in action. But that's all we've got for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, this is Nate from the Script Academy, signing up for now. Peace out.